So my 64 Impala has a six liter engine, and it has 3-inch pipe coming out of the manifolds and a crossover pipe that I made under here. Then it goes to 4-inch, and it's 4-inch pipe V-banded right kind of maybe at the back of the driver's side door. And then it goes along, has a bullet style muffler here, and then another V-band right in front of the rear tire. And then it goes up and over the rear tire and under the car. I have an absolutely insane amount of hours into building this, and now it is way too long or way too loud for my inspection station. So they are very unhappy with it. So now I get to make a brand new exhaust system that is much quieter. So there it is. Awesome 4-inch exhaust that is completely useless because I can't get an inspection station or an inspection sticker. Inside the garage, I have pulled the exhaust off and I've jacked the car up. So now I'm going to start cutting it up so that I can get rid of the 4-inch exhaust and start building the dual 2.5-inch much quieter exhaust. I'm not super excited about this because I just want to drive the car. Unfortunately, the 4-inch exhaust is just too loud for the state of Massachusetts to be happy. So I'm getting rid of it. So let's start cutting. Up here we have the exhaust that I pulled off. This right here is 3-inch coming off of the driver's side manifold, coming down, O2 sensor, and then V-band to 4-inch. There's a crossover pipe that connects here, and it comes from the passenger side manifold, and then the 4-inch goes out the back of the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right in here, and I'll have to put a new O2 sensor bung on the new exhaust system. And yeah, I'm basically going to cut it off there and just start building a 2.5-inch exhaust. I'll have to downsize this from 3-inch to 2.5, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, that's life. And yeah, we'll see where that takes us. So first step, cut this off with a Sawzall. Let's do it. Well, that went relatively smooth. So now I'm going to use a wrench to remove the O2 sensor. It's probably got a good 20 or 30 miles on it. Running rich apparently. That's normal though, because I haven't tuned the computer at all. Alright, so now I'm gonna put this in the pile of things I don't know what to do with and get the other side to cut up. This side is a little better because I got to keep the O2 sensor where it is, and I'm gonna cut it right here. This side, you can see it crosses over, goes under the oil pan, but none of that matters because I'm gonna cut it off right here. So let's get cutting. Alright, before I cut this, I figured I would note one thing that I've learned. When you're building exhaust systems, you never want to cut at weird angles, like this angle or this angle. You always want to cut it perpendicular to the pipe itself. But basically, if you take a straight round pipe and cut it at a 45-degree angle, now you have this giant oval, and that oval is not going to meet up to a round pipe because it's like, we'll say 4 inches wide this way and 3 inches tall that way. So now if you meet another pipe up to it, you're going to have this giant overhang on each side. So you always want to cut pipe perpendicular. Alright, so now I have both pipes that I'm going to hook back up to the exhaust manifolds, and I'm going to then build everything off of these pipes. This is sort of just a starting point, and once they're bolted up to the car, I'll just start building 2.5-inch pipe coming off that. I might have to get some adapters to go from 3-inch to 2.5, or maybe I'll make some. I haven't really figured that out yet. So, I guess let's get started. Okay, with these pipes in place, you can see Both of them are there now. And this is a 2.5 inch pipe. So from the camera angle, they almost look the same. But as they get closer, that's not gonna work. So I have to adapt the 3-inch pipe to the 2.5 inch pipe. And I'll show you how to do that next. All right, let's do it. Okay, so I need to adapt this to be a 1/2 inch smaller so that it bolts up, bolts up. So it can be able to be welded nicely to a 2.5 inch pipe. So I've clamped the hammer into my vise, and then I'm gonna go around and I'm going to basically round off the pipe so that the edge of it is smaller. And I'll show you how this works right now. All right, so you can sort of see how it's getting smaller. And I only have one hand here to work with. But if you take this, put it up against here, you can see I'm getting closer. And the other thing that you can do is you can widen this the same way. So what we'll do is I'll work a little bit more on this, and then just to show you, I'll widen this one just a little bit, and I'll show you how it all works. Alright, so now I have one pipe just resting on the other. I flared the straight one and then shrunk the other one. And you can see that they're mated up together almost perfectly, so you could TIG weld those really easily together. Or if you're using the MIG welder, you could easily MIG with them. So yeah, it's as simple as that. Once you weld them and then you kind of grind the weld smooth, it'll look like a perfect merging of a 3-inch to a 2.5 inch pipe. That way you don't have to buy adapters and whatnot to make it all work. So if you want to see it apart, you can see this is the 3-inch pipe that I shrunk with the hammer. You can see sort of the crowning that happened there. And then this is the one, I didn't make it look as pretty. I just kind of went at it because this is just a scrap piece of pipe. And I basically just flared it out. So again, if I spent a little more time on this and I wasn't, just making this out of a scrap, I would spend a little more time and make it actually look pretty and not so dented up. But as you can see, this is an easy way of merging a couple pipes together and having them fit pretty well. Like so. All right, enjoy. All right, I'm now back under the car. I have both pipes hooked up again. And you can see up close that I've shrunk this. This is the same 2.5 inch pipe. And now you can see it pretty much fits right in there now that I've shrunk the end of the 3-inch pipe. So this will be much easier to weld now. You won't have the giant gap that I had before. Not to mention it kind of holds itself in place, which is kind of nice while you're fiddling with the exhaust system. So, I think that's it for now. I think in the days ahead I will continue. So stay tuned, tell your friends, subscribe, and all that jazz. We'll see you next time.